It's Talk Tonight, the podcast of delights, and don't you know it? Talk Tonight, it's Talk Tonight.
Hello and welcome to the Talk Tonight podcast. Today I'm joined by Sean and Sean, who are in the band Courting. So tell us, how long have you been courting for?
2 years, 2.5.
Yeah,
It's about 2 years and a little bit. We started. It feels like longer, to be honest.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Maybe because we've had a year of like not really doing anything. Well, that's not true, but a year of like not playing gigs anyway.
Yeah.
So like, would you say you're it's just sort of got a bit mental for you, really, hasn't it? Like over like the past like year or so, isn't it? Like you just released Grand National. Then we'll get on to that in a bit. But yeah.
Yeah. It's gone a bit mad. To think the last time we played a gig, we played to maybe like 20 people, if that, and we had 2 singles out. So coming back after the pandemic with another single and another EP of 4 songs, and then more stuff we've been working on. It's a bit of a mad transition, but I think it's exciting. It's we're really looking forward to kind of being able to play some shows again.
Yeah.
And see what we've kind of built up over the pandemic.
You said about shows and that, which is like, because you got that like UK tour in September, and that must be quite mad as well. I'm going to say mad a lot, really, but yeah, that must be quite surreal in a way, because that's quite a hefty tour.
Yeah,
It's definitely a leap, I guess, because before this, we'd never really done a tour before. Like, there's about like a month where we played 3 shows in 3 different cities.
yeah,
But yeah, it's a bit of a leap from last to this big tour to playing a different city every day. Pretty much.
I'm not really nervous though. If anything, I'm just quite excited.
Yeah,
because
so.
I think it's almost like we've been in like a gig deficit for like a year. So getting the opportunity to play like 30 shows, it's really, really exciting at the moment.
Yeah, and like the chances we've got to play in front of other people, like the Twitch gig and
The DIY.
yeah, the DIY one, they've been really fun to play. But obviously,
It's different with that crowd.
yeah.
Would you say you guys had like a particular city or date on the tour that you're really looking forward to?
I think we're really looking forward to our homecoming, playing Liverpool again.
Yeah.
I think a lot of bands tend to like end up with their homecoming show being in London, regardless of not of whether they're actually from the south, and that's definitely not the case with us. And we've kind of like, the venue we're playing in Liverpool is like triple the size of anywhere else on the tour, and that's just really exciting to us because that's obviously where we're all from. That's where we've been actually working before the pandemic, and it's going to be nice to play those songs for the people who've kind of been there for us for quite a few years now and kind of came the whole way.
I can imagine it must be quite like a nice feeling to go back and like, yeah, this is what's happened to us over a year or so. You say you're from Liverpool. Would you say what side are you? Are you Liverpool fans or are you Everton fans?
I don't think either was a big football fans.
Not
at all. Yeah, if I had to say, I'd probably say Liverpool.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I've been brought up in.
Yeah, so
but it is kind of silly considering we have a song called Football. But
yeah, I was going to say
only one member of our band is a proper football fan. Well, 2 now. Josh is a red. Sam is a blue.
Does Josh support Liverpool?
Yeah.
Even though he's from Sheffield.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Whereas me, you, and Michael are all a bit ambivalent.
Yeah. But like, not quite neutral, of course. I don't really care.
Yeah. We're not like neutral. I'm not saying there's like no team allegiance here, but there's definitely we're not that asked.
Yeah.
Don't care as much as some people would, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Say, but you lost, you'd be like annoyed for like 5 minutes, then you probably just get over it.
Maybe even less than that.
Yeah.
Really,
I'll
Jesus.
probably go, yeah. I feel like I'm like that on most things.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's either win or lose.
Yeah, it's
and you lost,
50% odds.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's many things that if we lost that, I'd go, I'd be like upset for more than 5 minutes. Now I think about it, I don't think I care that much about like any event. What do you reckon?
Unless it's like our own event, unless like we played like a really bad gig or something.
If we were footballers.
If we were footballers and we put on a bad game, then
I'd be pissed.
I'll be obsessed.
But I'm less pissed.
Disappointed, I'd be.
I'd feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably when you would be annoyed for 5 minutes, then, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
At least 5 minutes, yeah.
Maybe 10.
Maybe 10.
At a push.
Depends how connected I was at this event.
Yeah.
How much I'm prepared for it.
Yeah.
It to fail.
There's nothing worse than advanced preparation ending in loss.
Yeah, it's like when you got what an exam
and
you revise for it as well, and then you get to me and you do it, and even when you think you've done well on it as well, and then you get that result back and it's crap, and you're like, oh, whoa.
Can't say that's ever happened to me, Sean.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we're not big football fans.
No,
that's kind of where,
that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So you just mentioned about odds and that, and got
good segue.
Yeah. So did you have any backing on the Grand National? Did you?
Of course not.
Yeah, shockingly no.
No. Okay.
I guess after that song, if we both came on here and been like, yeah, put down 50 on, I think we would possibly, if someone had put a bet on us for biggest hypocrites, they would have just got the fattest,
big payout.
They would have got the fattest return of their life.
That leads very well into your new EP.
Yes.
So tell us about that, like the recording and writing process about that.
It's over a long period of time, really, but it's, in my opinion, it's an early statement of intent about where we're going next. It's not like a finished article, but we've taken it quite seriously. I think a lot of bands use EPs as a chance to kind of just like record B-sides and throwaway cuts, but these songs could have easily composed 4 tracks of an album if we'd wanted to put another 4 on, but it was that these were the 4 best, and I thought it was kind of good to document where we were at, and we've kind of presented it a bit like an album, I suppose, like a short album. But yeah, really happy with how it's doing.
Yeah, I think that was on intention to try to, like, as I said, not just kind of make 4 throwaway songs and put them on an EP, which I treat it like it was like a short album, and we had it with like the segues into each track and things like that. Just try and make it, I guess, put a bit more effort into it.
Yeah,
and just kind of hear some songs.
We care a lot about our output, and I think it matters to us that if it's not something that we listen to or enjoy, then there's no chance for releasing it.
No, that's fair enough. Was it always going to be like the songs on it that you were going to release, or did you have like a collection of so many songs, or are you going to be like, right, it's these ones we want?
I think whereas a lot of bands, I guess, kind of finish a lot of songs and then begin the elimination process. At least personally, as a writer, I kind of I do the elimination process really early on, because a lot of our writing is almost kind of conceptual. Like, I kind of think of how the song should work before we put it to music and lyrics, like an idea, a basis for the song. And I think it's kind of like, rather than writing 8 different songs in 8 different concepts, we write songs to fit those concepts, and then those are the ones that work on the EP or album or whatever. It just takes us however long it takes us to fulfill those ideas. So I guess the elimination happens a lot earlier, when, like, say, you know, we'll write a lot of riffs and ideas down, and then 99% of them just never get played again. Or maybe we'll think about them later. when another opportunity presents itself. But we're very picky early on. We kind of don't waste time writing stuff that is just going to be a B-side when we could be putting more effort into refining and perfecting something which could be on the A-side, I guess.
Nice. So when you come to like on your tour and that, do you have like some particular like set list in mind, or are you gonna change it up every night?
I think it's quite interesting. We've been thinking about this, and there's a few songs in our set list that definitely hold like a certain place.
Yeah.
Like we always tend to open with football and close with it because it's quite a it's a short song and people seem to be hyped to it. But we might mess that up on this tour because we've got more songs, more unreleased stuff too now because we've got a bit of a backlog by the amount of time we've had to write and work on stuff. So by the time we're actually touring, it's gonna be whatever we wrote that's best. We'll make the set list.
So before you like start writing and that, you get up in the morning. Are you tea or coffee people?
Tea for me, definitely. What are you saying?
I think when I first wake up, I'll have a coffee, and then like after that, typically I'll have tea instead. And both.
I'm not really a big coffee drinker. I'll be honest. I'm quite a fussy eater / drinker. So I drink a lot of tea. Really strong as well.
You do?
Yeah.
Just strange.
How many say would you get through in a day though? Like
how many cups? Hold on.
You know, like 5 or 6 a day.
I used to be a lot worse. I've pared off my caffeine intake slightly. I don't drink much tea in the morning or night anymore because it keeps me awake. But I'd say I could go through like 19 cups, 20 cups of tea in a day. Would like nothing.
Just wouldn't even phase you.
Yeah, if I was just sitting about, I could drink. When I wake up now, before I'll do anything, I'll have 4 cups of tea.
It's like we really need to practice. Nah, I'm only on my 3rd cup. Sorry, guys.
You don't have to wait. There's another 250 milliliters to go. Like.
Which song were you like most looking forward to playing live?
We've never played Crass.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun. We've kind of got to work that one out. There's a lot of like drum machines going on.
Yeah,
and we need to. I'm becoming aware now that some people might not even clock the 808, and that's upsetting because there's so many layers to that song that are quite subtle in the final mix. So we could just play it like a normal rock band.
Yeah, or make it, or we can like try and make it closer to record.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends how much
money we
got to
buy the equipment.
Yeah.
That song's a lot of fun though. That's probably my favourite on the EP. Grand National's fun to play too.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to just being able to sing that.
I have a lot of fun playing that.
It's a good song. I think that's like the most modest anyone's ever been about their music. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I enjoy playing my music.
But yeah, I think the whole EP. I think some stuff that we can't talk about yet.
Yeah.
But we've been writing.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun. I think 10 times better than anything we've released so far. I think that's very exciting. We might debut some of that stuff soon.
That's fair enough. So like, when it comes to like a tour, like the one you're going to go on, how would that all come together? Like the planning for all that, because it's always something that we're very interested in. I've never known how it works.
Well, I guess it's as a band, there's a lot of processes going on that we are not involved in.
Yeah.
Like at this point, we take no real power in the booking or all that kind of stuff, but we just kind of get the dates.
Yeah.
We say, yeah, that sounds good to us, and then we've just kind of got to plan our route. We've got no like tour manager or van. It's very much shifts of motorway driving.
Yeah, it's gonna like where it's all his list of dates and venues.
How do you feel about this?
And then you go, yeah, and then you go, okay, good luck.
Yeah, sort of.
You get there.
Yeah, it's the fun of being in a smaller band, I guess. But to be honest, it does actually seem quite fun once we get there and we can just play some shows.
I'm looking forward to like going to other places as well.
Yeah, just not driving.
Yeah, just not driving. Looking forward to the destination, not the
the
journey.
drive. Yeah. I'm very excited to go back to Glasgow.
True. Yeah.
We went there last year, and because we didn't have a car, we took a National Express down,
Oh,
and it was a 13-hour day of driving. So we got
Jesus.
there like 6 o'clock, and we left as soon as we finished playing. Got our bus home, and it stopped in Manchester for like 3 hours in the morning.
Yeah, because the next coach didn't start till like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
and we got there at 3 in the morning. So we had to wait 3 hours in the bus station.
So we were all basically sleeping in Manchester bus station and getting paid like only for our transport for this day.
Yeah.
So it was ridiculous. And we were in like Carlisle at 4 in the morning in like some liminal space McDonald's in a service station.
Thinking back, that was like a really surreal experience.
Yeah.
Like being like it was I'm pretty sure it was a storm.
Yeah.
It was pouring down with rain. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and the driver had stopped to take a break. And we're walking to a service station, completely empty. There was nobody else here. Went to a Mackey's in a service station. No one else there except the workers. And we got some food. And then we got back on the coach, and it was just, thinking back now, it was weird. It was weird.
It was a weird night, yeah.
It was also weird that the only time I've been to Scotland
was about an hour.
I was there for about 2 hours. Played a gig there, and then went home.
It was an eventful gig as well.
Yeah.
It was because like our guitarist was sick.
Yeah.
And like he was struggling to play, so we had to play sitting down. And then
Jesus.
And then we just kept the encore going for about 20 minutes, and it was pissing people off, I think. And it was on that day last year when it was like the worst storm that had happened to Britain in like 20 years. And we were on a National Express going up to Scotland, and it felt like the bus was gonna tip.
Yeah.
Like there were times where you'd like go into like the toilet stall, you'd feel like the whole bathroom was gonna fall over. It was horrifying. But yeah, so I think we're really excited to get back there when it is not destroyed by time constraints. Our club wants to go like a day early and set ourselves up for the night, actually expense on a hotel and try and actually enjoy it a bit more because it was so rushed last time.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, for the whole sleeping in the bus station, do you think that would put people off of being in a band and doing the hard graft?
It's one of them, like, in the moment, I was thinking to myself, in the future, I'll look back on this and be like, good times. But I knew in that moment, I was like, this is awful. I'm so tired. Why am I here? I'm like, because as well, like, Manchester's only the next city along to Liverpool, and so it's like I'm not even that far from home, but it's 3 in the morning, and the next coach isn't until 6.
It's like so close but so far.
Yeah,
it's like a last minute tease. I just want to go home and go to bed. Well, no, you're in a shitty bus station.
I remember I remember getting into bed at about 8 in the morning. So like, I got into bed at 8 in the morning, and then I assume I didn't sleep that much, obviously, because that would like mess up my whole sleeping pattern.
Yeah,
so
right.
I assume I slept for like a couple of hours, then got up.
I probably got banging night sleep. So I can sleep anywhere. You see, I do think back, and I think I was having fun then. I don't think I ever thought like I was that tired. Like I slept on the bus a bit.
Yeah, you did.
I had a nice time. Obviously, though, it's kind of you get a bit of an excited prospect, thinking maybe this is a bit shit, but in a year maybe we can drive, and that it's a little bit less shit.
But unless you're driving, and then it's 10 times worse.
Yeah, sure. But you don't have to stop in Manchester for a few hours. You can just drive.
So you do like just a few little random questions. Like if you could play, like say you're quartet are playing, and you've been given the chance to have someone play with you, who would it be? Like any band. or artist?
Our general take was the Beach Boys.
True.
That was what we said
Got
last
that.
time.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful. I'd like to support LCD Sound System.
Mm.
I'd like to support something funny, like
Kanye West.
yeah, Liam Gallagher, because we piss people off.
True.
Similarly, like the 1975, because I get a whole lot of joy if we did that. I like going home and on Twitter, everyone's like, "What the fuck? This doesn't sound like the 1975." That'd be a good laugh. Anyone where we can piss people off,
Mm.
that's good. I think we're naturally used to getting like divisive responses. Like I remember we played with like a few bands last year or 2 years ago, whatever, and we try to be quite active in the crowd. And I guess like sometimes, you know, before we had much music out, we were getting booked with like more indie bands. And I'd go in the crowd like and scream a bit, and people look at you like you're like demented, and they look at you terrified. Like, my God, you exist in like a pleasant music bubble. But then those people who looked a bit like worried to be in the crowd were the same people who after the shows would always end up buying t-shirts. I think like good, like we've converted you a bit, and that brings me some joy.
It just shows how powerful music can be, though, can't it? It can really just be like, oh yeah, like you can do something and play live, and that would be something that people will remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we go for. We want to be more of a live band. I guess it's balanced. We want to be a band who has good studio albums, but also is really good live.
Yeah,
Well,
I think even now, like we get people who are like message us being like, "Oh yeah, I remember that gig you did last year where you did this thing, or where you jumped into the crowd, where you handed out the cowbell, where you did this, did that," and like so. I think I remember actually at the time, like back in like last March, we did stuff kind of thinking, oh yeah, we put on some good shows. It was good shows, and then we couldn't play any more shows, and we're like, all things now gone.
Yeah.
or like our band's thing of like kind of being a interesting band to watch live has having this road.
I think that's kind of one thing we've got going for us. The fact that we can kind of straddle both lines.
Yeah.
Especially now, like I feel like some of our earlier stuff, you know, it's definitely meant for a live environment. Like football is meant to be a crowd, kind of aggressive song. In the same way, David Byrne's Bad Side is meant to be kind of a catchier sing-along crowd song. Whereas because some stuff we wrote more into lockdown and we built it without seeing live reaction, it's built more to be record music, less than live music. But I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think we've taken longer on it and we've not gone for like a cheaper mosh pit.
I guess a bridge of that kind of between us playing shows and us on record is kind of Slow Burner, because Slow Burner was essentially written to be a gig song. It was written to be a song that we could play live, and like it's quite long. We could get people participating with cowbells and stuff in the crowd. We like there was no real structure to the song, but back then it was just kind of like we give each other like a hint, like oh yeah, now we're changing this part. Just because it allowed Sean to do what he wanted.
Some crowd participation shit.
And then it wasn't until June, June, that we decided to put it on the EP, and so we changed it and made like an actual song rather than just a piece that we play live.
Yeah, so it was kind of interesting because we took a song that existed pre-pandemic and we revamped it for the actual setting of a record. I think I'm very proud of how it turned out. Like we used to kind of see that song as a bit of a laugh, a bit of a joke, and now I look at it, I'm really proud of it. So,
would you say you like particularly write songs with the aim for them to be really good live, or do you just write and then it just sort of happens from gigs and that?
It depends. I think we used to write more for live. Yeah. Now we write more for kind of our own, without being pretentious, our own artistry, I suppose. Like it used to be more this song is fun. And now, and I'm not saying that our mission to have music that's fun has changed, but it's more like, is this stuff that I'd listen to? And if I wouldn't listen to it, then I don't want to write it. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of bands who listen to very interesting music and then churn out shit. And I think we listen to a lot of really interesting music, and it's about making our music interesting too.
Yeah.
Without at the same time without making it boring. Because anyone can like start like a that's actually quite limiting. I was gonna say like anyone can start a noise band, but that's not true because it is good. But it's like anyone can kind of make the way to that. But I think to make something that is experimental, like being in like a noise band or so say you have like an experimental noise rock project, you can go up to your amp and get some feedback and fuck with some pedals. But then to make that interesting is a challenge, and if you make that interesting, you're good. And I think that's kind of the whole game in it. So it's how we can write stuff that's crowd pleasing and fun, and also be interesting and maybe a little bit challenging at the same time.
Did you guys listen to anything different in the time you were writing the EP to maybe like go in a different direction or anything?
I don't know. I think the EP. I've read a lot of this. Like as the EP gets criticised, people seem to be like comparing us to only pivotal at the moment post-punk bands, and like I feel like saying like there's music that existed before that those bands pull from, and like not everything has to be momentary. And sometimes like I read these comparisons and I think I'm not ashamed to admit when I'm very influenced by something or ripping something off. The problem I've got is you've got it completely wrong. Like,
although as well, like, will we compared to bands who have released stuff recently?
Yeah.
In like the last couple of months, and then we're like, well, we wrote this like a year ago and a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So like like although you can make the comparison, it's like, well, you can't really rip this off.
If we wrote at the same time.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like I saw like. And the thing is, as well, these are all bands we love.
Yeah.
Like people have been saying Crash sounds a lot like Black Country New Road, and I do really love Black Country New Road. We both do, but it's like, where are you pulling that comparison from? Is it just because we both say Kanye West in a song? Like, I don't know. I think people need to be a bit more thoughtful with their like song relations, because right now sometimes like you read reviews and you think, do you even listen to music? Like, do you just listen to like whatever's like hyped up in London at the moment and compare everyone to it? It's a bit weird. I think I wouldn't be so arsed if people were actually picking up on the correct places we were pulling from.
Yeah, it's like I said, like we have love, but Black Country New Road is like being or whatever other band it is. So like being a person is obviously it's great in a sense, but then at the same time it's like, well, it's great, but you're wrong. It's like, thanks, but it's just wrong though.
It's like thanks, but no thanks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very high compliment, and like we appreciate it, but it's like you're wrong. Like that's not where we're pulling from, but they are a great band. So it's a hard line because we want to like slag off the people who are comparing us and say like be a bit more thoughtful. But at the same time, we don't want to come off like we don't like their music, because we obviously do. The same thing happens with like Sports Team, and like I see Sports Team get a lot of shit, but we're good friends with Sports Team, and I think they're great at what they do. But like never when we were writing our EP did we think, oh, let's make a song like Sports Team. I guess the realism of it is we probably put from some similar bands. Like I know we both like Pavement, so it's kind of like if two bands like Pavement a lot and they're pulling from a similar inspiration, why would you say we are trying to sound like them when it's more the case that we both have an interest in common? Like it's weird. Like we've even got hit with some fall comparisons, which is just the utter highest form of joke. Like I don't. It's just pain. My laptop's about to run out. Hold this for 1 sec. I'm doing my laptop charger.
Right, I think Sean was saying that we got compared to the fall like the other month or something, and like I think we both listened to the full. Like, we listened to an album the other month for the first time, but like this was after we've written all of our music, and I'm like, well, you know, the comparison is coming quite late, I guess.
Yeah. It's weird. I can't say we've listened to much of the fall.
No, I was saying we listened to that one album, but that was like 2 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest, like, you know, I'm not saying I wasn't aware of the fall, or I'd never listened to some songs by the fall. So I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's a lazy critique. So I guess that's it. We haven't got a problem with who we're being compared to. I just think you can keep it up. I just think some of the comparisons are a bit lazy.
It's just like, are they actually listening to like the song enough? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even listen to it
So.
at all, kind of thing.
We're not even subtle. We put who we're copying in the press rooms. Like, it's not hard. If you want to say we sound like something, there's a lot of scope. We're basically telling you, and then everyone just jumps back to sports.
Yeah, I mean, like, because we get the sports team comparisons or even jokes like in pretty much every day. Like in most press we get, they'll mention sports team,
At least in some capacity.
Yeah, and like us complaining about that sounds like we don't like sports team, or like we're insulted.
So you can't really win.
Yeah, but that's not the case. It's just the case of we get it all the time, so that's kind of annoying. But we can't say we find it annoying without it sounding like we hate sports team.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like you can't revolt against people comparing you to things without them then thinking you're taking the piss out of ours. Because, well, surely you want to sound like them if you like them. No, because like you can like someone and not be directly influenced by it. It's a weird one, isn't it? Like I like. We listen to a lot of Kanye West. I can't say we're going for a Kanye West vibe on the album. Like, never at any point have we started chopping up soul samples and like height and like changing the pitch 6 octaves. It's not how we're going about it, but that doesn't mean we don't like it. So are we really well on one there?
No, then you can like it doesn't have to be like a specific genre to get influences from, can it? Like you'd be like Kanye, for example. He's probably influenced so many artists and bands and stuff. It's just what you like about the artist, isn't it? And you go, oh, that's quite good. That means something. Maybe I can do something like that or around that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think like that's what we do a lot of time. Like we'll hear a song and we'll go like, oh, let's have that in our next song.
Let's do something like that.
Yeah.
What I think what it is because we listen to so much music and we make a massive point out of constantly listening to new stuff, that by the time we've actually wrote a song, it's became compressed with so many different things. It's not really pulling from anything. So it's like, you know, say we start writing a song now and we are influenced by like a Kanye West beat, and then in a month we're influenced by something from like an Aphex Twin song, and then a month after that another part of the song is influenced by something out of like, I don't know, like a Gang of Four song, whatever. And it just, the process, you know, just going to keep going on with whatever we're listening to. And then by the time the song's finished, maybe after like 5 months or whatever, of kind of coming back to it and writing, we end up with some collagey kind of constructive thing from loads of different places that aren't really in the same basket. And I think that's kind of how we keep it interesting. Rather than saying, oh, we're going to write a song that sounds like this selection of bands who are similar. It's like, maybe we'll write something that sounds a bit like this, a bit like this, a bit like this. And maybe they're all from different genres. And then we end up with something a bit weird.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you can kind of point out that's kind of why a lot of I feel like with each release we've done, it's come out with like, I guess particularly recently, like I guess Save a Burn was quite different. Well, I guess Save a Burn was quite different to football, and then Pop Shop was quite different to Save a Burn, and then Grand National was quite different to Pop Shop, and then now Cross and Slow Burn are both
very different.
Very different to what we've put up previously. I guess it is probably because we listen to a lot of different music, and we're always trying to find new music, and so whereas normally I guess the band will like kind of have their sound, and they'll produce an album or 2 or 3 or however many of that kind of that sound, and then after an album or 2 they might try and change their sound. I feel like we've done that in a matter of singles and an EP.
We haven't really stopped, I guess.
Yeah, like we don't. It's like kind of when people ask me like what type of music we make, I'm like, I don't really know.
Like, pick a song.
Yeah, it's like you'd have to do it, but by song basis.
Yeah. At the same time, though, I worry that maybe we're biased because I feel like you always view your music to a slightly different from other people.
Yeah, true.
So like maybe other people listen to anything and like, or maybe they do have a style and they can see that, but we can't because we know more where we're pulling from than the people who listen to us.
Yeah, and we know what we have written and haven't released.
True. Yeah.
So like we probably think of our music as being quite different to what everybody else does because we've heard what we have written
that other people haven't heard.
That other people haven't heard yet. So we're going to have a different opinion, well, not different opinion, but a different idea of what causing sounds like than what everybody else thinks.
The way I look at it is like, I think it's quite good that you're not constricted to one specific sound, that you get what I mean. So then like you could reach the different demographic of audiences. So you could have like the indie lot and then different areas.
Yeah, I'd say it's more for us. At the end of the day, it's
which is important as well.
Stuff. It's like, you know, if one day we're listening to like today we were listening to The Rapture, and it's like, oh, you know, maybe we should make a song that's really dancey like that. But then we were also listening to loads of kind of like deconstructed club stuff, and sometimes it's hard to mix genres without it sounding like shit. So you just walk away with songs that are stylistically very different, but held together by a few strings. But I like that. I like the fact that, you know, in 2 months we might release some like bubblegum based song, and then in like a year it'll be like a 10-minute long piece of like slowcore or like I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say.
I guess the advantage as well, which is I guess not so much to us, but like I think bands who produce lots of the same music who then want to change their sound a bit will get a lot. Yeah, they get told off, or like they'll get like heavily criticised for it by the fans or by critics for changing the sound that they have, that people have grown accustomed to over like however many years or whatever. Whereas if you keep if you keep people on their toes with new music and new sounds, then you've got more freedom, I guess, to release things without people shouting at you.
That's definitely something we take into account. Like we could have done like the second half of the EP have been the same as the first. Yeah, we could have done an EP of like football or an EP of David Byrne's Bad Sides with all big hook sing-along choruses. But it's very much we're just kind of writing what we like and keeping it. We're not really. I guess we don't write much thinking, oh, this is what this person's gonna like. This is what people are gonna. We just kind of write, and if we like it, then we presume other people will probably like it too.
And it appears to be successful, at least at the minute. Looking at how the EP is being received, and the Crass is getting a lot of attention at the minute.
We're a bit scared.
Yeah, we were a bit scared of Crass because of how different, I guess, it sounds to the rest of the music that we've released. But it's been getting a fair amount of attention, so I guess we've got a pass there. We've been given the green light to just kind of
be weird.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the best thing of you just having your own like complete creative control over it as well. You just do what you want.
That's the benefit, yeah. That's what we enjoy doing.
Well, guys, thank you very much for coming on the podcast tonight, and really appreciate your time and that. We finally got round to doing it. You know, it's been backward and forward for a good 5 or 6 months or however long it's been. You can find Courting on Spotify and all other streaming services. Grand National is out now. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thanks for that.